This marriage love story is presented by marriageromance.com. The title is Ocean Love. The author is Pure Passion.
Aquamarine waters slapped at her ankles as Megan closed the zipper on her wetsuit and pulled on the silicone flappers over her tanned, bare feet. She leaned into the supporting boulder outcropping, tipping her face to the bright sunlight overhead, stretching her arms out into the balmy, summer air. She could not get enough of the Caribbean sunshine. The tang of salt on her tongue, kissing her sun-bleached blonde hair into tousled, wind-blown curls, the slap of the waves against the boat. "Bout ready, Meg?" her diving partner and husband of 3 years asked, joining her at the reef's edge, keys to their sleek, blue catamaran dangling off his finger. Megan leaned in for his offered kiss, nodding as she accepted his hand on board. "Really hoping we will find a group of seahorses today," she remarked, picking up the clipboard lying on the dash, at the helm. "The Aquarium requested a pregnant male, and I have my eye on that red one. Here it is, hippocampus engines," Megan said, running her finger down the inventory list. "We also need to net a trigger, 3 yellow tangs and a puffer." Eric smiled at his wife, silhouetted against the morning sunlight. She was definitely in her element. "Let us get going then, wanna drive?" Megan shook her head, reaching behind her, to check on the holding tank. "You go ahead, I am gonna research a couple things and map out the area." "Alrighty then, off we go." The boat roared to life, cutting smoothly through the clear, blue water. Halfway across the channel, Megan laughed at the antics of the pod of dolphins that were playing in the frothy foam, churning up in the back of their ocean craft. A mother and her baby had joined them, zipping alongside the boat, water glistening on their silver backs. Megan was half tempted to reach out and see if she could touch them, but she needed to return to the task at hand. Eric was flowing into a lagoon area, a place they had frequented more than once. Together they strapped on their diving gear, anchored the boat and slid beneath the warm, tropical waters. Almost as soon as they entered the undersea world, they were greeted by curious blue and yellow snappers, who followed at a distance as they descended into the colorful coral reefs. The beauty of the reefs never failed to humble Megan, leaving her in awe of their amazing creator. The gentle fan of the purple gorgonians, the red and orange sponges, the teeny yellow gobies that darted about in the shallow waters. She looked in the direction Eric pointed, as he squeezed her hand. There, directly in their path, was a majestic, diamond-backed sea turtle, lazily swimming towards them, as if suspended in air. She nodded excitedly in response, transfixed as the beautiful creature ascended over their shoulder, headed to the surface. Side by side, they combed the reefs for movement of sea ponies. The clever camouflage made their search all the more challenging, but Megan knew the general hangout of her much-sought-after red horse. He tended to frequent the scarlet sponges, while his mate preferred the nearby sea fan of vivid pink. As a result, the pair alternated between the two colors on a daily basis. The Aquarium had already netted a fair collection of their favorite corals, to help in acclimating the horses to their new home. It was only a matter of time before the daddy horse would give birth to hundreds of little ponies, and they wanted to make sure it was in the safety of the observatory tank that rose in a floor-to-ceiling column, a 360-degree view for the island tourists. Megan jerked Eric's hand excitedly as a giant, snow-white sea fan parted to reveal a nest of ponies, all colors and sizes, and amongst them, nestled further in the cleft of Christmas coral rock, were her desired horses. In short order, she and Eric netted the fish that were needed and kicked their way to the surface. As the boat purred its way back to shore, Megan oversaw their new additions, checking the pH of their holding tanks and keeping a log of their condition. She felt so blessed to be doing what she loved, alongside her husband. They had met at the aquarium. He had a job of swabbing the decks for the performing dolphins and keeping their feed in stock. She had been cleaning the tanks, which included inside diving to scrub the rocks and keep the viewing glass algae-free. Between breaks, meetings and boating excursions, they had struck up a mutual friendship that deepened over time. A year later, one autumn evening, as she had descended into one of the shark tanks, on a cleaning ritual, one of the overhead lights was thrown on, where the tourists often gathered, yet she knew it was after hours and only the staff remained. She shrugged, continuing at her task, chalking it up an accidental switch, when a huge white sign, just beyond the glass caught her eye, and beyond the sign, the man holding the homemade structure that read, "Meg marry me." Her heart pounded in her chest as Eric sank to his knee on the blue swirled carpeting, dropping the sign to reveal a twinkling diamond that caught the fluorescent lighting, flashing rainbow colors. Nodding excitedly, it was all she could do, not to surface quickly, as the diving equipment weighed her down. She made quick work of the Klingon wetsuit, that seemed to mold like glue to her thighs. Frantically, she peeled off the offending garment, tossing it aside, take the steps two at a time, until she reached her boyfriend, flinging herself into his arms, who laughed as he was covered in rivulets of water from her soaking wet hair, yet good-naturedly wrapped his arms around her slim waist. Megan pulled back to look into his eyes, blinking away the droplets of water. Eric caught the wayward curls, tucking them behind her ears, her heart catching at the tender gesture. "Yes, yes, yes," she cried, holding out her hand as he slipped the ring over her knuckle. Together they admired the sparkling stone, before sealing the deal in a passionate kiss. Later, Eric informed her that he had secured the building for the night, pulling out sleeping bags, blankets and pillows. Pulling the sleeping bags close, Megan rested her now dried head on his chest, gazing up at the 4-story reef aquarium, idly twisting her engagement ring, watching the light catch the stone. She sighed contentedly, a prayer of thanksgiving on her heart. It would be a very special holiday this year. Megan jerked herself to present as Eric tethered the boat to the moor. That was 3 years ago, that he had made her wildest dreams come true, and this evening, she was about to make his. After they had released their collected specimens into the quarantine tanks, rinsed off the diving gear and dressed for dinner, they drove to their favorite restaurant, just down from their home. Candlelight flickered romantically in fancy black lanterns. Sweeping, potted palms closed them inside their own private oasis. The trickle of falling water, splashing into a nearby pool, added to the ambience. Eric admired his wife across the table, in a bold red sarong dress, caught up behind her neck where loose curls had escaped the elegant upsweep of her shining gold hair, spilling down around her ears. Her face was glowing with happiness, her blue eyes sparkling with life. He caught her hand in his, threading their fingers through, caressing the back of her palms. "So, what was it you wanted to tell me?" Holding up a finger, Megan fished inside her purse, before producing a cap wand, which she laid on the table, waiting for recognition to dawn on his face. Eric straightened in the booth, straining to see the symbols displayed in the tiny window. Then a smile curved his mouth, as his eyes met hers. "Really? You are?" Megan nodded, not prepared for the whoop of laughter that drew the attention of fellow patrons, as he pulled her out of the booth and into a crushing hug. Realizing they had drawn all eyes to themselves, he sheepishly addressed their restaurant. "She is pregnant. We have been trying for some time now, doctors were not sure we could, but we are." Megan stopped him mid-sentence with a triumphant kiss. They were rewarded with a round of applause and cheer of congratulations, as Eric swung her around, before setting her feet to the floor. Eric placed his hand on her stomach, reaching down to address his unborn child. I am gonna be the best daddy. Your mommy and daddy love each other so much, we have so much love to give you. Megan looked on with misty eyes. Before their meal arrived, bowing their head in thanks, their hearts swelled in gratitude for the little miracle that was on its way, an ocean of love washing over them.